tiny problem with it. Inspecting... Nice opinion. Just one tiny problem with it. Inspecting your post, it looks like your opinion is different from mine. Let me tell you something. I am the baseline for opinions. Any opinion I hold is objectively correct, and as a result, any other opinions are wrong. Guess what? You happen to hold a wrong one. I hope you know that your opinion is now illegal. I have contacted the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the Navy SEALs, Secret Service, and your mom. You'll be sorry you ever shared your opinions. By the time you're reading this, you'll be done for. Nature will punish you. Humanity will punish you. Supernatural beings will punish you. Space will punish you. We decided just to make sure we'll nuke your house from orbit, so there's no chance you can run away. Everyone will know you will die. It's a small price to pay to remove your wrong opinion from this world.
I am there. There we go. Alright, welcome back to another live stream. Again, if you're watching the rewatch, since you're liking the stream, subscribe if you want, and I guess leave a comment on the rewatch. First off, we talked about this yesterday's stream, where Nepal had a bad flood, so we're gonna watch a quick video on that, and then we'll get into the other stuff. So.
At least 34 Australians remain unaccounted for among the more than 1,000 missing. The Nepalese community fearing for their loved ones.
Almost 10,000 kilometres from Nepal, the devastation of the deadly floods might feel a world away. But for a regional city like Dubbo, it's heartbreaking.
Our thoughts are with all those who'll be concerned about their loved ones today.
Nearly 1,000 Nepalese Australians call Dubbo home. Across Australia, around 200,000 people claim Nepalese ancestry, many with friends and family back home. The events have been made especially difficult by the lack of communication coming out of the region.
Nepal, is a developing country. It doesn't have the resources that an event like that would have in Australia. So information is difficult.
Dozens of Australians are also missing, including 2 boys aged 11 and 14, believed to be travelling with their parents.
We are urgently seeking to confirm the welfare and whereabouts of Australians, and we will be in touch with their loved ones as soon as we have any confirmed information that we can share.
The government has already reached out to its Nepalese and Chinese counterparts to help locate missing Australians. DFAT will also increase staff in Kathmandu to provide consular assistance. Tourism in Nepal has surged in recent years, with around 50,000 Australians visiting in 2025 alone. Several hiking expeditions and religious trips were underway when disaster struck on Wednesday.
It's an area that's quite popular in the Himalayas for pilgrims, for Hindu pilgrims to visit, particularly at this time of the year. And we understand that there may be a number of Australians who are part of those tours to that region.
The opposition leader says his thoughts are with those affected.
I have a significant Nepalese community in my own electorate, great contributors, and my thoughts and prayers are with them and, of course, the Australians who are missing.
State and territory leaders have also passed on their condolences.
They are horrific images, and I can only imagine how people in Australia with loved ones over there are feeling right now.
I'm going to write to community leaders today to offer my help, my support and my solidarity to them in a time of need.
The federal government is currently considering humanitarian aid for the region.
We are coordinating with the Nepalese government, the UN, the Red Cross and other organisations on the humanitarian response.
Aspen Blomfield, News 24.
So that's that. Okay. Moving on to the bigger topic, which starts off with good old Johnny Somali, as usual. And then we're going to watch some other stuff as well. So, we know who Johnny Somali is, as usual. This was 3 hours ago. So, his final scam. And let's see how it is.
Ramzi Khalid Ismail, a.k.a. Johnny Somali, has pulled one final scam over on his buddy Hank Yu. We have confirmation of that today on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, who's been covering the Johnny Somali scandal and all of his criminal saga from beginning to end with him behind bars.
I mean, it's kind of over, but I guess this is one of the few ones.
First in Nambu Detention Center, and now presumptively in Chonan Prison, which is where he would be transferred after that case was adjudicated at the appellate level. So he appealed his case. The 6 months was upheld, and he is still behind bars in South Korea. And for those that don't remember the saga or need a little refresher, this is Hank Yu. Hank Yu was one of the top allies of Johnny Somali, who provided him literally everything: food, clothing,
housing, literally the reason he was able to, survive for so long.
Shelter, pretty much everything he needed to survive, on top of being his Korean translator, setting him up with a lawyer. Hank bent over backwards and did everything to support Johnny Somali, was his most loyal ally. Well, now we see here, and this is the meme courtesy of Johnny Somali on X, that says, Hank Yu spent tens of thousands of dollars on me for my living expenses in South Korea, which, according to an interview, he spent up to $20,000-$30,000 on this guy. In return, I stole money from him and left him, and there's not a thing he can do about it. And that's Johnny's position, and that's kind of the summary of what happened here, which we're going to get into right now. So we have confirmation. These are legal documents that were provided to various people, including to Fabrarius, who initially had a lot to do with the initial leaks and the initial breaking of the case. One of the people that was a former moderator in a Johnny Somali server. And we have confirmation of documents, notarized documents from Songpa Legal Services in Songpa-gu, Seoul, South Korea, that actually Hank Yu, Han Jung Yu, you can see that in the bottom left, was the investor, and Ramzi Khalid Ismail was this executor of his investment fund. So essentially, Johnny Somali was investing funds on behalf of Hank Yu, and he was supposed to give those profits back. So as you can see here, they gave $40,000. That's a lot of money, with 60% supposed to go to the executor, that is Ramzi, and 40% to the investor, that is Hank Yu. So essentially, investing this money with the returns that were supposed to come back to Hank Yu. Well, we have in a series of messages here between Hank and Fabrarius confirmation that this is out. This is, something that was his final scan. He was saying here, all right, it's over, so I can tell you, don't give this to anyone. Well, too late, Fabrarius, leak these things. That's how it goes. I mean, that's how it was in the beginning and here at the end here. Fabrarius says, you have my word. Hank says, basically, this is the contract I signed between me and Ramzi. Fabrarius says, oh, you're a smart man. I just didn't want my mom and grandparents to find out, says Hank, and freak out before they transfer the 10% ownership over to me. So I was taking extra precautions until now. Let me find the summary. So basically, you borrowed him $40K. Hank says he signed a contract for it. At first, he showed me charts and S. Then he stopped doing that in August, and he was still looking at trades until October. I thought he invested it. On December 31st, I told him to show me the portfolio. He muttered something left and didn't come back for 2 days. Then on January 2nd, I told him that I needed to see the portfolio. He freaked out on me and left the place completely. I gave him this back in January. This is breach of contract. If an investor refuses to show the portfolio, that's a breach of trust, and he leaves. Fabrarius says he is a failed crypto and stock trader. He lost all your money most likely, and I would agree with that. That money.
I mean, yeah, most likely just use it on either food, something, and basically robbed him of money a lot.
Money is probably gone. He probably gambled that away, trying to do day trading or crypto.
I was going to say gambling. I was going to say maybe money or something so you could keep nuisance streaming.
Or meme coins, whatever else. So Hank says need to garnish his wages then. Fabrarius says 100%. Well, he signed, he owes you $40K flat, so that $40K is out there. And when he actually wrote him, and he wrote him while he is in jail, and wrote him to try to get his funds. And this is the response from Ramsey that has been summarized here. So Ramsey says to Hank, this is a response to the notice you mailed me on July 10th, 2026, regarding the contract being approved and notarized by Songpa. Regarding the contract, I'm requesting you mail me an unedited, unchanged copy of the original agreement from the law firm and notary office. Regarding the demands you have given, I have no legal obligation to provide any documentation to you upon your request or on regular basis, according to the signed agreement. Regardless, I'm willing to provide documentation to you, but this is an impossibility while I am in custody. I can only do and will only do so while arriving in the United States. So he's trying to make a point here to say he needs to get out of Korea because he knows, and this is the key here, he can be stuck in Korea for even longer if Hank sues him and pursues this legally. I'm willing to discuss this matter and come to a mutual understanding if you visit me. And I think this was the Nambu Detention Center, which is where he was. Like I said, he may be moved to Chonan at this point. And it's signed Ramsey Khalil Ismail. He also says the power of attorney agreement we signed in 2025 is no longer valid. So they apparently had some other agreements. So this is him acknowledging the fact that he did do this scam, but saying, hey, I don't have any responsibility here. And this is something that Hank needs to sue over. Because, and we'll get to my judgment here, it appears he scammed him for $40,000. But
yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. 40,000 is a lot. Okay, let's see. What's the Okay, so 40,000 in US is $55 million in South Korean won. So that's kind of a lot. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyway, back to the video.
if Hank decides to legally pursue this, if he decides to go to court to actually do this, if Hank does not just all talk, and a lot of times Hank, we know Hank, we followed him through all of this, he is all talk. If he's decided to pursue this, Somali could be stuck in Korea for even longer past the 6 years, could be stuck there for a long time dealing with this case, trying to resolve this, dealing with this breach. And I would encourage Hank to do that. Now, some people have said to me, well, Hank wants to be paid for an interview or something like that. I'm not doing any of that for Hank. But what I will say, which is just good advice to Hank, this guy is not your friend, right? Ramsey Khalid Ismail is not your buddy. He's not your ally. He's not a person who's in your side anymore. And he's totally betrayed you and scammed you, just like he scammed many of his followers. And just like he pulled the wool over people's eyes with his lies, with saying he was a character and saying he's playing the Somali character. And that's all this ever was. That was a lie. And this scam that he pulled on Hank Yu was a lie.
I think most everyone that watched it since the beginning or even halfway through knew that Hank was only Ramsey or Johnny Somali, whatever you want to call it, was only there, friends with Hank until he didn't need him anymore. And then he didn't need him, he left him. So I think everyone knew that he was never friends with him from the beginning. He was just, I don't know what you want to call a useful idiot.
So I want to know what you guys think about Hank Yu getting scammed. What do you think? Does he deserve it? Is it something he should have known? Let me know in the comments below, and I will catch you on the next one.
All right. So next one is going to be a little, I don't know, dark, kind of. All right. TikTok psychosis. So we're going to listen to some crazy people, I guess. Fun.
Who comes out of the woodwork? A whole bunch of TikTok psychics. What do we know about TikTok psychics? Clearly, they are all rational human beings that have definitely not gone way overboard like Ashley Gilliard, who we've covered very extensively here on this channel. I can't believe how far that went. But I don't know. At some point, one would think maybe, just maybe, other TikTok psychics would learn a lesson or two from Ashley Gilliard and maybe not insert themselves in some crazy viral trial. But of course, because the trial is so viral and people really want attention in today's age on the internet, they do so regardless. Because apparently being ordered to pay $10 million is not a big...
Again, just clarify, this was 3 years ago, or 24, so 5, 6, okay, yeah, 3 years ago.
enough deterrent. So it's safe to say all these self-proclaimed TikTok mediums or psychics, they're treading into some dangerous territory here, seemingly all in the name for views and followers. And by the way, yes, I do realize I spawned into a new location. Where am I now? I don't know. What I do know is there's no AC in here, and it's probably somewhere between 92 and 97 Fahrenheit because this is borderline a sauna. Well, that's what I get for being in the south of Europe with my family.
I kind of feeling it's going to be Europe. No AC equals Europe. Freaking ads, I hate these. What is this ad?
I'm not complaining. Don't worry. But regardless, releasing some heat shock proteins would absolutely not stop me from talking about this video with you guys today because it is just insane. So over the last few weeks, you've had this trial revolving Lindsay Clancy blow up massively. It has been probably one of the biggest trials currently, other than maybe the David case. And it's safe to say that a lot of people have had a lot of opinions about this trial. It's been a really big one. And of course, before you ask, I will be making a video on this trial as well. But this I wanted to talk about first because it is a little bit more up my alley with the TikTok psychics because they just really want to be right and they want to be the ones to say, oh, I told you so. See, I am actually psychic. And I'll give you a little bit of context just to bring you up to speed. But, you know, considering how many conspiracy theories that have been thrown around this trial, it's just crazy. So in this video, I'm only going to outline the trial and I'll go over all the facts in a separate video because that's the only way I can sit here and actually cover it in a completely unbiased way. But anyway, the trial that's currently going on is surrounding Lindsay Clancy. She's a mother who's accused of taking the lives of her 3 young children and then attempting to take her own life by jumping out of a second-story window back in 2023. I mean, this is beyond gruesome. This is horrific. But obviously, that wasn't the end of it because Lindsay survived. And now she's on trial for the deaths of her 3 children. So naturally, lots of people found it impossible to believe that a mother could be capable of doing something like this, despite her documented struggles with postpartum depression and thoughts of self-harm. But regardless, there seems to be kind of this theme where if someone can't really make sense of something, they go looking somewhere else. And in this case, that's led to a whole bunch of crazy conspiracy theories and TikTok psychics coming out of the woodworks with their own conspiracy theories because I guess they're psychic or something like that, right? And it definitely doesn't help that in
As one does, I guess.
recent years, you've had other pretty viral stories like the stuff around Chris Watts. And I think this is kind of swaying people who just don't want to believe that Lindsay did this or want something crazy and a massive plot twist to happen for their own entertainment. Regardless, though, today we're talking about a woman by the name of Conscious Cow, a TikTok psychic who refers to herself as your spiritual bestie.
Let me think for a second. What?
Your spiritual bestie, Conscious Cow.
And she has a very bold...
Okay, first, the voice alone, okay, no.
claim that she can remote view. So essentially she's claiming that she can, like, I don't know, team viewer into someone's life or something like that, which is fascinating to say the least. Anyway, it's safe to say that she's had a lot to say about the Lindsay Clancy case. And a lot of people are saying, hey, ma'am, you're not just like tiptoeing into a defamation case. No, you're jumping headfirst into one because what is this? So it all started with a video that she posted about a week ago where she not only claims that she did some remote viewing and received downloads from Lindsay and Patrick, but she also says with 100% certainty that the husband did it. That's a quote from her, not from me.
It's your spiritual bestie, Conscious Cow. I am a psychic medium if you don't know me. So I have taken a look at the Lindsay and Patrick Clancy case. So I did not look at any of the imagery. I did listen to some of the testimonies. I listened to them. And that is how I get my downloads and my visions so that I can see or remote view. I guess some of you would call it remote viewing. Remote view the events of what happened. And I'm just going to say the husband, he does not want me to talk about this. The husband, 1,010% did it.
Yeah, that's a crazy claim to make with that much certainty.
Yeah, that's just gonna say that's a bad idea to say, because if you're wrong, oh boy.
Without any other facts than your own spiritual intuition. I mean, this is straight out of the textbook from Ashley Gilliard here. And no, she's not just like recounting things that she's already seen. No, Cal also closes her eyes mid-video and seems to be downloading on the fly. Wait, I'm getting a download here. She might end up in some sort of defamation courtroom soon. Actually, I'm not even gonna LARP as a TikTok psychic because this is crazy and pathetic in every way. Because obviously, we don't know all the details yet. The allegations seem quite damning, but it's not over yet. So maybe we should all just kind of sit back and let the courts do their thing.
The first thing that I see is he was planning this. I want to say
what?
3 to 4 months prior to him actually going through with his actions.
But then she claims, again, with like no disclaimers, that this is for entertainment purposes or just her opinion, that Patrick...
I mean, there's no disclaimers. You have to think she generally thinks this is true.
Patrick was planning for 3 to 4 months before he carried out his actions. Again, her only proof is her spiritual intuitions, essentially, or her remote viewing and downloading this live. So once again, she's still plainly saying that he committed this horrific act.
He tried multiple ways that he thought that he could, get rid.
Moe's Grilled Burrito Dippers. Cheese, queso, protein, made to dip.
Friday nights, you bring your A game. Friendly walks, you bring your A game. Bring your A game to your sexual wellness, along with practicing safer sex. Include Apertude, a prescription medicine used to reduce the risk of HIV. Apertude helps give you continuous protection when taken every other month. And it's proven superior to once daily PrEP in reducing the risk of HIV.
Okay, there we go.
This was his plan. He is a sociopath. I believe he has some level of psychopathy. When I connect with his energy, it's very reptilian. It's very gray. I see like a muddy...
Reptilian. Hold the phone for a second. That doesn't make sense, first off. What is reptilian energy or whatever you're trying to say?
Greenish, orange around his aura. He's very narcissistic. He's
greenish and orange around his aura. What?
Very calculating.
And I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but it seems like this is actually worse than what Ashley Gilliard is doing. What Ashley Gilliard was doing is horrific. It's awful. But somehow a woman just came out of nowhere within a year and outdid her. The bar was through the floor already. How are we lower? So not only is she saying that he tried multiple ways to get rid of his wife, but she also diagnoses him as a sociopath, possibly a psychopath, a reptilian, a narcissist, and says that he has a muddy green aura. And I guess we just have to trust her and her spirit.
Trust her her judgment based on nothing, I guess.
Actual intuition. Okay, and this is all because he didn't emote the way that she wanted him to during...
How would you want to be emoting when your wife allegedly killed your children? You can't win in this situation.
During the trial? Gee, I don't know. Maybe everyone processes horrific trauma differently.
I mean, to be able to sit there and someone's talking about your 3 unalived infant children, your toddler-aged young children, and to have zero emotion, not a tear, not a hiccup, not a deep breath, not a deep sigh, not a ounce.
Some people don't show emotion when they're sad. Just saying.
Of this visible pain, that kind of tells us the reptilian nature of his psyche. And I use that term because they are cold. reptiles and reptilians are cold-blooded. They do not feel, they do not have emotions the way that we do.
I am just dumbfounded that she's actually making these TikToks unironically. Even if she was making them unironically, she would be a pathetic piece of... But still, the fact that she's doing this unironically is just beyond me.
I think doing it unironically makes it worse because you generally think this and you could also get in trouble for doing such things.
He did Lindsay first.
Huh?
But what I'm saying is that he put all the kids in the basement first. They were alive. And what happened in the bedroom, it's very weird. I think he tried to actually lacerate her neck and then realized that it would be way too messy and that it would be harder for him to clean it up. But what I saw is it would be harder for him to clean it up. So he decided, I'm not going to do this way. But I actually think she tried to kind of fight him in her inebriated state. He had been gaslighting and drugging her and doing all of these things prior to the incident. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, she's just making stuff up at this point, like claiming that Patrick was doing this to Lindsay before the night of the actual incident. I mean, this is a very serious thing to be alleging. And she also claims that this could have just happened because Lindsay was a light worker and Patrick was simply jealous. Again, all of this is just complete speculation. She's pulling out of nowhere.
There is some darkness, some dark entity. And actually, this is because Lindsay was a very light worker, almost like she was a nurse. She was a light worker. And he was very jealous of her, envious of her. He possessed no emotionality. He can only mimic emotions, but he doesn't feel them on his own. So when he sees someone that's empathetic in nature, a mother, a nurse doing all these things, he gaslighted her for years, their entire marriage, that she was nuts.
So her conclusion is his only option was to take out his entire family? How is this a real person? This is just so concerning to me. Oh my. And then, of course, she ends her first video by saying plainly, she believes that Patrick is guilty.
This man is guilty. The craziest thing to me is as I'm watching him commit these acts, the same way you see him in the courthouse with zero emotion is the same way that he did this.
Wow, and I believe she's a complete moron. Anyway, on her page, her comments are flooded with other psychics corroborating her claims and saying that they had their own visions that matched up with hers. Yeah, apparently there's more of them. I don't know. I think this is pretty much the textbook example of a clout demon. And now, obviously, a whole bunch of people are agreeing with her, and they're coming out and saying that they just know.
Okay. First off, this is my response to this. Because I'm confused. Anyway.
More than what the prosecutors do, apparently. Okay. And this obviously just fueled her more because she came back with a part 2 where she claims that she is being spiritually attacked for posting her video exposing the truth. Maybe that's what's left of her consciousness that might be telling her not to do this.
After I posted my first psychic reading, I was walking to my bathroom and I felt like someone pushed me down. I freaked out because there was no way I could have fallen going to my bathroom out of my beauty dressing room. So I think it was something connected to this very...
Proofpoint clearly dominates this space, not just in size of market share, but actual capabilities. And
evil entity, this reptilian demonic energy that is connected to Patrick.
Okay, so now he's not only responsible for her crimes, but he's also responsible for her tripping in her home. And she then launches into her next reading, but not before promoting her beef tallow balm that she apparently sells. So that is definitely one of the more interesting product placements I've seen in a minute. But here we are. The social media universe is crazy these days.
To the reading, if you guys would like to support me, please follow Talia Blue Skincare. This is a very healing tallow balm that I created.
I don't know, but hopefully her customers aren't walking around in bear country with that stuff on them.
All right, expert grifting, I guess.
Anyway, she then brings us into her next insane theory by claiming this is actually all tied to the Salem witch trials.
This is connected to the Salem witch trials. Some of you were commenting that, and I was kind of like...
I am getting more confused by the minute.
I didn't really pick up on that originally.
Excuse me, what? And then she kind of admits that she doesn't think that at first, but after reading a bunch of comments of people claiming that, she magically had a meditation where it was all confirmed to her. I mean, she's pretty much a black belt in mental gymnastics at this point. This is crazy.
So I sat in meditation after the falling happened, after getting pushed, because obviously someone or something doesn't want this information coming out. I saw a woman in this vision I had while in meditation with crazy, like grayish hair, but it almost looked like it was burnt because they burnt them. And she was a very older woman, and she was watching the house, and she was just standing there in the snow watching the house. This entity is connected to the Salem witch trials. This is why all of this happened. Everything has a supernatural influence, whether you believe it or not. That is the tea.
Okay, so now it's not really Patrick. It was a supernatural entity from the Salem witch trials controlling him like some sort of NPC. He was maybe just like a shadow priest, and he was casting mind control on him and doing all these horrific acts. Like, what's going on here? I'm kind of shocked that this is a real video that's actually being taken seriously on the internet. Wow. And Cal, make sure to clarify that she still stands by her timeline of events, meaning she still is fully accusing Patrick.
I stand by my first timeline and events when I first channeled this energy that he had committed the acts, Lindsay first, okay? And he kept going on. Why do you think he changed his boots? Because he had to go back in the snow to see if she had passed away or not.
I mean, she believes that this horrific crime happened so all the women can unite and empower the divine feminine.
This is uniting us. I know that it is a horrific situation, but when I look at it from a higher energy, a higher perspective, we are speaking our truths about people like this, reptilian, predatory people like this, and men and women. Okay, the narcissists, the psychopaths, all of them are not getting away with the things they so callously think they get away with. And Patrick, 1000% in his narcissism, thinks he is going to get away with it. He is not. But they have shown me his day is coming. His day of judgment will surely arrive if it has not already.
Yeah, this is definitely a fascinating use of free will. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but isn't it a little bit ironic to, call someone a narcissist who believes they are always right while claiming that you had psychic visions to prove that someone is and obviously you have no other proof other than your own spiritual intuition. Isn't that a bit narcissistic? But hey, it's still all downhill from here. Things somehow get worse. So Cal uses Patrick's birth chart to come to the conclusion that he just did all this. And then she even goes even further by saying that because of that, he's obviously a serial because of his birth chart.
This is my part 3 astrology reading of the Clancy case. And I'm going to focus on my little serial killer. Oh, can I say that? Serial unaliver.
Sometimes you think you've seen the worst of it on TikTok, but then you get hit with videos like this and you're like, oh boy, I thought I saw the worst of it at the TikTok psychic trial, but now I'm sitting here like, this trial will probably one up that. This will be even more crazy. And what I hate about both situations are both of these are like spin-off events from a horrific tragedy. This is absolutely not where the focus should be. But I also feel like I need to make a video on something like this because, I mean, these people are just running around on TikTok with free reign doing this, and you have a bunch of people believing them for some reason. And if you don't have people actually calling them out, it'll just kind of run rampant without any pushback. And this stuff is just so insane that I feel insane that I have to sit here and make a video. Of course, it gets even more insane because not only is he being mind controlled by someone from the Salem witch trials, no, he also did this because apparently his star sign is a Gemini. Okay, so yeah, clearly everyone who's born in late May or something, they're going to do something like this. Like what? What is this logic here?
His 12th house being Gemini means secrets, okay? Public and private enemies. What? Things done in the dark brought to light. Having Cancer there, the node there, and then having these 3 Gemini placements. This is a very volatile inner world. Gemini is the mind, it's intellect. He is so calculating, like cold and calculated. So the 2 biggest criminals.
Since the dawn of time, man has been plagued by itch and irritation from not wiping fully clean because he was relying on the dry stuff to wipe.
Gemini, sadistic,
That
serial
doesn't make
unalivers, Cancer, number one at the top of the list for all crime because they act in what? Emotion. They have no control of their impulse, their emotion. They're moving with the tides of the moon, right?
Oh my goodness. This is just so infuriating. And again, because I guess she just wants to quadruple down, she says that she knows that he did this.
I can read the charts, I can read you and know the T immediately that you did this. Patrick did this, talking directly to you, you Gemini demon.
And what do you know? Of course, she brings up the Chris Watts case and references the Netflix documentary. So she's totally not been influenced by a Netflix documentary, which again is kind of similar to the Ashley Gilliard. Because again, Ashley Gilliard's whole fanfic thing was pretty much loosely based off of the How to Get Away with. So, I mean, come on here.
You know, it's really like the Chris Watts thing with the American Horror Story commercial.
Why are these people like this? Why do you feel the need to insert yourself into a horrific trial? And of course, she wraps it all up by making more accusations. And this time that he is potentially and possibly a predator. Again, zero evidence here. She just really is fond of slandering this guy from her psychic readings and spiritual intuition. That's all the proof she has.
Something seems like, oh, the husband did it. Something seems like I can't trust a Gemini man with a Cancer moon. You can't, closeted fucking loser.
I'm going to say is if someone determines anything by stars or moons, they should not be taken seriously at all.
Maybe even like secretly sex offender loser. You better enjoy those Manhattan cocktails while you still can, because y'all ass gonna be wide open in the jail cell. Thank you.
Now, obviously, Cal isn't the only one who claims that she can psychically channel her visions to that night, but she is definitely one of the people getting on video and stating all of this as facts. And even though there are other videos, most people seem to have, I guess, at least the common sense to go, hey, this is only for entertainment purposes and so on and so on. So maybe they've learned a little bit from Ashley Gilliard. Cal clearly has not. And also, just going back to that, I don't know how speculating about some horrific is entertainment, but also that's not really what I'm here to talk about. And many people obviously keep bringing up the Ashley Gilliard, including myself, and warned a bunch of these psychics that, hey, I mean, you can get hit with a $10 million judgment here because that's what she got hit with. So maybe you should tread carefully, but it seems like they don't really care.
Ashley was getting upwards of millions of likes for falsely accusing Rebecca of doing these crimes when she did it. All of that to say, I hope Patrick Clancy sues every single one of you guys who was falsely accusing him of murdering his children when we know who did it for every single thing that you got. I hope that there are some attorneys right now documenting and saving all of these videos so when this Lindsay Clancy trial is over, they just go to Patrick and say, don't worry, we got you some more money.
But at the end of the day, I mean, it's one thing to have, theories or a gut feeling, but you can't go online and state them as facts and just blindly slander people. That's just beyond reckless. And right now, these psychics,
it's also very stupid.
Including Cal, are just going full steam ahead. To me, honestly, it just kind of looks like it's a matter of time until she gets hit with a serious lawsuit. But again, who knows? I guess we just kind of have to wait and see what happens. So if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like if you enjoyed this video. And if anything crazy happens here, I'll make a follow-up. And obviously, if this goes to trial, I'll probably show up. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
All right. That one. And all right, well, last one, which is Jeju Island. So we're going back to normal. Okay, Jeju Island. The serial groomers on Korea's Paradise Island, which Jeju is the island and basically the vacation spot of Korea. So
let's follow up on a story that has completely gripped South Korea over the past few days, spawning viral rumors, heated political debates, and widespread anxiety among both domestic travelers and foreign tourists planning trips to Jeju Island. Now, if you caught our last discussion, we covered how the tragic discovery of 37-year-old Chang Min-an, who went missing back in May, exposed a massive police cover-up. The officer in charge, Sergeant Pu, He lied about making contact with her and falsely marked the case as closed in official systems and even logged her cause of death as a traffic accident. So 13 days after internal investigations began, Jeju Provincial Police Chief Mr. Ko issued a formal public apology, bowing his head to the grieving families and the public. Chief Ko admitted that the police failed in their core duty to protect citizens and promised a thorough investigation into Sergeant Pu with zero cover-ups and ordered an immediate and a sweeping audit of every missing persons case across Jeju Island to implement strict checks and balances. Now, freshly reported details from local authorities and major news outlets have shed light on how fast the situation escalated into a full-blown national panic and what steps are being taken on the ground. To understand how intense the public reaction has been, a viral graphic known across Korean online forums as the Jeju Missing Persons Map began circulating pretty wildly. The map pinpoints 4 separate locations across Jeju where missing individuals were found dead over a span of just 3 days between August 22nd and August 24th. Besides Chang Mi-ran's body being discovered in a palm tree farm in Hannibub on August 24th, 3 other tragic deaths occurred around the same window. On the morning of August 24th, a man in his 50s was found dead near a valley in Eworup. August 23rd, a man in his 70s who had been reported missing to the Jeju Dongbu police station was found deceased off the coast of Chocheoneup by a local angler. And August 22nd, a man in his 60s who had been missing since early July was found dead in Kujao. Now, seeing 4 bodies discovered across different parts of the island in such a brief window sent shockwaves across social media. Because public trust in local law enforcement had already completely collapsed over Sergeant Pu's falsified records, a massive information vacuum opened up. Online communities like FM Korea, DC Inside, and various YouTube channels quickly filled that vacuum with extreme theories. Also, commenters use dark satire to mock local safety. So there's this phrase, 귤보디야, going around, and it's a blend of 귤, which is Jeju's iconic tangerines, and Cambodia, referencing notorious overseas crime syndicates and human trafficking rings. So netizens have come up with this phrase to talk about how dangerous Jeju Island is. Now, speaking of which, here is an article that shows, what the public sentiment is like currently. Baseless conspiracies and rumors surrounding the recent deaths of missing persons on Jeju Island are spiraling out of control. Amplified through civil complaint channels and online message boards, these theories have morphed into sensational rumors, including claims of Chinese masterminds and police cover-up murders, further escalating public anxiety. On August 26th, the message board on the Jeju Provincial Police Agency website was flooded with angry complaints demanding verification of unconfirmed rumors. One complaint, identified as Mr. Lee, posted, "Be honest with us. You are working hand in hand with the Chinese to traffic people, aren't you? Dirty cops and Chinese illegals are teaming up to traffic human organs to China, and it's only a matter of time before Jeju becomes Chinese territory." In response, police officials posted an apology in the reply section. "We sincerely apologize to the public and the bereaved family for the disappointment caused during the handling of the recent missing persons case." Despite the apology, angry complaints continued to pour in, prompting police to repeatedly leave formal apologies throughout the morning. Speaking with CBS No Cut News, an official from the Jeju Provincial Police Agency acknowledged the high volume of speculative complaints, stating, "The internal atmosphere right now isn't appropriate for us to issue separate statements to the press. We ask for your understanding."
There's just too many steps to finding a therapist. It takes 5 minutes. They're probably all booked. Meet a great one tomorrow. Can't.
Across online communities and social media platforms, speculative theories regarding the background of the missing persons cases are being presented as established facts. Prominent claims include assertions that police are linked to Chinese organ trafficking syndicates, or that officers directly participated in the crime. On the conservative online forum FM Korea, a user posted a thread titled "The Chilling Part About the Missing Woman's Case and the Police," writing, "Why did the officer lie and assume her boyfriend couldn't be reached, as if he already knew for a fact that she could not be contacted?" The post triggered a flood of speculative comments. "It's way too suspicious to be just laziness or cutting corners at work. There's no way the police acted like this just because they didn't want to work. Did a police officer actually commit the murder? It feels like Chinese gangs trafficked her, dumped the body, and the police covered it up." The single post amassed over 900,000 views on the forum before being cross-posted to other online communities like Ilbe. This tense atmosphere is further expanding through social media posts and YouTube videos by public figures. Medical broadcaster Hong Hye-geol and actress Jin Jae-young, both currently residing in Jeju, posted messages advising caution when walking at night and raising concerns over local public safety. In a Facebook post on August 24th, Hong wrote, "Jeju is a truly beautiful place, but you should never let your guard down," warning people against walking alone on secluded roads. However, as the post went viral and faced criticism for creating the impression that all of Jeju was dangerous, Hong clarified, "My intention was simply to remind people to be careful, not to say that Jeju as a whole is unsafe." Jin Jae-young posted a photo on Instagram the same day with a short caption, "I don't usually go out at night, but the recent Jeju news makes even a simple walk feel scary." As news outlets began reporting on her post, Jin took it down. Meanwhile, a past YouTube video by former Idol singer Sung Hyun-woo recounting a 2021 incident where he was threatened by a man wielding a weapon reemerged and went viral. In the video, Sung shared how a man chased him with a sashimi knife following an argument at a restaurant, nearly taking his life. Sung recalled, "While writing my police statement, the officer told me, this is a common occurrence in Jeju. There are lots of fishermen around, so plenty of people threaten others with knives. If I had fought back, I might have been killed." He added, "Never pick fights with drunk people and be extremely cautious in isolated areas late at night." Yeah, that video by Sung Hyun-woo also posted on my YouTube, homepage, and I watched that. And it seems like a lot of people have watched that because of this incident. So as you can see, unverified posts alleged that an active serial killer was loose on the island, while others claim that foreign organized crime syndicates, specifically human trafficking and illegal organ trade rings from mainland China, were operating operating like hideouts across Jeju with local police complicity. And things reached a point where the Jeju provincial government had to step in directly. Authorities issued an official statement expressing deep regret over the spread of exaggerated content and fake news, explicitly urging users on platforms like Threads, X, and YouTube to stop sharing unverified claims that provoke public fear. And here's an excerpt from this article. In an official statement, the Jeju provincial government stated, "We express deep regret over the unverified facts and exaggerated interpretations being circulated by certain media outlets and social media platforms regarding the police's handling of the missing persons case." They added, "We respectfully ask the public to refrain from circulating content that incites fear about safety in Jeju and to delete posts containing false information." The statement emphasized, "Jeju province is making every possible effort to ensure the safety of residents and tourists alike. We will do our utmost to make Jeju an even safer place." Jeju officials plan to hold a joint interagency meeting on the morning of August 27th to formulate response measures to the crisis. Now, official investigation have stressed that there is zero evidence connecting these 4 deaths to one another, nor is there any evidence linking Chang Mi-ran's death to foreign crime groups or human trafficking. In fact, preliminary autopsies on Chang Mi-ran showed no signs of external trauma, with forensic examiners attributing her death to suicide by hanging, but there is a lot of nobody is believing that, because first of all, the body has decomposed too much. And there are a lot of local residents saying that palm tree, like, nobody can use that tree for suicide purpose. What are you talking about it? What are you talking about? But we will have to see, because there was only a preliminary autopsy. We'll have to see. So things are unclear as of now, but we'll see. Now, despite official clarifications, the controversy has reignited a very serious political and policy debate in South Korea regarding Jeju's unique visa-free entry policy, also known as the no visa system. For context, Jeju Island allows visitors from most countries to enter and stay for up to 30 days without a visa to boost tourism. But official Ministry of Justice figures revealed that as of late August, there were over 10,000 undocumented residents residing in Jeju who entered under this program, with Chinese nationals accounting for roughly 85%, or about 9,100 people. Critics and lawmakers argue that while the police successfully drives tourism numbers, the low entry barrier makes it difficult to screen high-risk individuals or track those who overstay their visas. And commentators have pointed to past high-profile incidents to argue that broader control and police oversight must be tightened significantly. And here are some of the comments written under these articles that I have found. If I were an organized crime ring, entering visa-free to operate here would be absolute perfection. Abolish the visa-free entry system for Jeju immediately. Even locals do not trust the police right now and are terrified. Why would foreign tourists who don't even speak the language come here? Haha. Block visa-free entry for Chinese nationals then. Pickpocketing, drugs, robbery, murder, and organ trafficking, voice phishing are happening openly in Jeju. I'm terrified and I will never go. This will spread all over Korea. At the same time, experts and officials are urging the public not to fall into statistical fallacies. While official government metrics frequently rank Jeju highest among South Korea's 17 provinces in per capita crime rate, recording around 4,500 crimes per 100,000 residents, that metric uses the island's permanent resident population of roughly 680,000 as its baseline divisor. And it completely ignores the over 13 million tourists who visit every year. So when you account for the big floating population of travelers, the actual risk level for any individual on the island aligns with or falls below the national average. Now, I will actually read you an article that talks about that statistics towards the end of this video. Okay.
Monster.
Is this your car insurance premium? This, even this?
They don't want us to know that there's an easy way to lower your.
On the international front, though, the scandal has triggered noticeable concern among foreign travelers. The K-pop fan communities and international travel boards on X have been sharing posts warning tourists to exercise extreme caution or rethink their plans, with some sensationalized accounts claiming Jeju is currently under a high-level security alert. However, the Jeju provincial government confirmed during an emergency public safety meeting that overall tourist arrival numbers have not suffered a sharp decline. Daily visitor statistics have remained stable, and local hotel associations have not reported mass booking cancellations. To address the underlying safety vulnerabilities and rebuild trust, Jeju Governor Wi Song-gon announced a series of immediate reforms. The provincial government is establishing a unified interagency task force on missing and at-risk persons involving local police, Coast Guard, and fire departments to streamline emergency search operations. Additionally, Jeju will extend public CCTV video retention periods from 30 days to 60 days or more, which is a major fix, considering that crucial footage in Chang Mi-ran's case was overwritten before search efforts truly began. And the island is also accelerating its rollout of AI-assisted surveillance cameras aiming to increase coverage from 58% to 75% by 2030, while doubling foot patrols along isolated coastal roads and the population Ulle hiking trails. Now, while administrative fixes like the CCTV expansions and increased patrols could be critical first steps, they also spark a much larger debate about the root causes of this public anxiety, specifically regarding Jeju's border control and immigration policies. So to close out today's episode, I want to read a recent opinion piece titled, "Before Calling Anxiety Xenophobia, Look Again at Jeju's Visa-Free Entry System for Chinese Nationals." So this is the article that I mentioned to you earlier, because it offers a very sharp yet balanced perspective on where facts end and rumors begin, and what real policy reform should actually look like, right? Before labeling public anxiety as xenophobia, take another look at Jeju's no visa policy for Chinese nationals. Here's a summary. No evidence links the Chang Mi-dan case to Chinese criminals. Yet, 9,100 Chinese nationals among 10,738 visa-free undocumented residents is a hard reality. To revive tourism, authorities must strengthen public safety and border control rather than suppressing public fear. Referring to the police request for an Interpol yellow notice regarding the missing and deceased Chang Mi-dan case, Representative Ju Jin-woo of the People Power Party warned that Jeju is being overrun by Chinese criminal syndicates. Citing examples of pickpocketing and violent crimes involving Chinese nationals, he argued that Jeju's visa-free entry system must be overhauled. However, an Interpol yellow notice alone cannot link Ms. Chang's case to Chinese criminals or human trafficking. Yellow notices are used not only for abduction victims, but also to trace long-term missing persons whose whereabouts are unknown. To date, no evidence has been made public showing that Chinese nationals or Chinese crime syndicates were involved in her death.
All right, so
wow, how does he do it?
Labeling individuals of a specific nationality as perpetrators without verification is wrong. However, using the lack of evidence in Ms. Chang's case to dismiss criticisms of Jeju's visa-free policy and undocumented residency issues as mere anti-Chinese sentiment or xenophobia is equally misguided. Speculating on the perpetrator of an individual case must be distinguished from critiquing verified failures in immigration control supported by official statistics. Let's see. Warning lights on for Jeju's public safety. Jeju has long recorded among the highest per capita crime rates nationwide. In 2024, Jeju recorded 4,540 crimes per 100,000 residents, which is the highest among South Korea's 17 provinces and metropolitan cities. Jeju has held the top spot in per capita crime rate for 10 consecutive years since 2015. However, these statistics do not fully reflect Jeju's unique position as a major tourist destination. Over 10 million tourists visit Jeju annually. Wow. But crime rate calculations use the residents' registered population as a denominator. Therefore, one cannot conclude that Jeju is the most dangerous region in the country based solely on its rank in per capita crime metrics. Nor can the high crime rate be blamed entirely on foreign nationals. Foreign offenders do not make up the majority of overall crime in Jeju. Yet, this does not mean there are no issues with Jeju's visa-free policy or foreign resident management. The number of foreign criminal suspects apprehended in Jeju has steadily climbed. 505 in 2021, 516 in 2022, 535 in 2023, and 608 in 2024. While the post-COVID rebound in foreign tourist arrivals must be taken into account, it is undeniable that public safety demand for handling foreign-related crime is growing in Jeju. Among the 608 foreign suspects in 2024, Chinese nationals accounted for 412, or 67.8%. Over the past 6 years, Chinese nationals have consistently comprised roughly 2/3 of all foreign suspects arrested in Jeju. This does not mean 2/3 of all criminals in Jeju are Chinese, nor does it imply that Chinese individuals have a higher propensity for crime than other nationalities. The high proportion of Chinese visitors and foreign residents in Jeju must also be considered. Nevertheless, from a policy standpoint, one cannot ignore the fact that cases involving Chinese nationals represent the largest share of foreign crime management on the island. A more direct concern is undocumented residency. According to Ministry of Justice data submitted to the National Assembly, as of late August 2025, there were 10,738 undocumented visa-free residents in Jeju. Of these, Chinese nationals accounted for 9,100, or roughly 85%. This does not mean all 10,000 undocumented individuals are currently within Jeju. Some may have unlawfully moved to the Korean mainland. Precisely for this reason, the public must ask whether the government is tracking their exact locations and verifying whether visa-free visitors actually depart when required. Jeju's visa-free entry system allows tourists to stay on the island without a visa for up to 30 days. While convenient for legitimate tourists, it significantly reduces opportunities to screen entry motives or risk factors compared to standard visa processing. The risk that individuals seeking illegal employment or intending to commit crimes will exploit this low barrier is very real. In 2016, a Chinese national who murdered a woman praying inside a Jeju chapel had planned a crime abroad. Court proceedings revealed that he originally considered Japan, but chose Jeju because he could enter without a visa. This stands as a prominent example of how the visa-free system can be exploited for premeditated crime. More recently, Chinese nationals who entered under the visa-free scheme stole usury urns from a local temple on Jeju, fled the country, and demanded $2 million from the victim's family. Other cases involved undocumented Chinese residents threatening locals with weapons or engaging in violent brawls among themselves. While these incidents alone do not prove Jeju has become a hub for Chinese crime syndicates, the potential for criminals to exploit low entry barriers and complex tourist flows for crime and evasion demands rigorous review. As the undocumented population grows, informal networks offering illegal employment, housing, and transportation naturally form. While these networks might serve as survival mechanisms for honest migrant workers, they can also be abused by criminals seeking cover or illegal jobs. If an individual fleeing criminal charges in China enters Jeju visa-free without South Korean authorities receiving criminal record or wanted persons data from China, identifying that risk in advance becomes nearly impossible. This argument is not a claim that the Chinese government controls Jeju, nor is it an assertion that Jeju has already become a stronghold for foreign organized crime. It is a fundamental question of national sovereignty and administrative capability. Does our government possess the capacity to verify identities, monitor departures, and track undocumented residents effectively?
Whether you're a professional technician or simply take pride in maintaining your own cars, Harbor Freight offers quality auto tools to meet your every need.
Jeju's tourism industry is deeply concerned that recent missing persons cases and safety controversies could lead to a decline in visitors. However, blaming concerned citizens and news media will not bring tourists back. When police falsify case closures on missing persons, while undocumented visa-free residents exceed 10,000, brushing off public anxiety as mere fake news or hate speech only deepens distrust in public institutions. Asserting that a Chinese national committed the crime in Ms. Chang's case is an unsubstantiated claim. On the other hand, demanding policy reforms based on concrete statistics that Chinese nationals make up 85% of Jeju's undocumented visa-free population and 2/3 of foreign criminal suspects is legitimate policy criticism. Viewing Chinese individuals as potential criminal is entirely different from demanding a screening and trafficking and enforcement system capable of handling current immigration volumes. Therefore, reevaluating Jeju's visa-free entry system is not an argument to abandon tourism. Rather, it is a necessary measure to protect Jeju tourism in the long run. Authorities must screen high-risk entrants based on past travel records, travel purpose, round-trip tickets, and accommodations, while strengthening tracking systems for unauthorized departures using biometric data collected at entry. Penalties must also be enforced against travel agencies and brokers repeatedly linked to undocumented entries. Regular public disclosures regarding foreign crime and undocumented status by nationality, visa category, and offense type should be instituted, alongside expanded criminal record exchanges with foreign law enforcement agencies. If policies aimed at increasing tourist numbers are pursued, the immigration screening and police staffing required to support them must expand accordingly. Increasing visitor volume without system improvements leaves tourism revenue in the hands of a few industries, while the burden of managing undocumented stays and public safety costs falls squarely on Jeju residents and the public. The best way to quell public fear is not by silencing it, but by reducing the factors that cause it. Reviving Jeju tourism does not lie in hiding real risk. It lies in fixing the loopholes in police work and immigration management, rebuilding faith in an island where both citizens and foreign tourists can travel with peace of mind. Ignoring verified statistics and systemic risk under the guise of guarding against prejudice is not tolerance. It is a failure of state responsibility. So as the column says, dismissing public concern as simple panic or prejudice does not rebuild trust. It's transparent accountability.
Yeah, that doesn't really help quite much.
And policy fixes do that. And Jeju remains a critical, beautiful destination. But restoring faith in its safety will take real administrative effort. But it's really unfortunate that, what started as a shocking failure of individual police accountability has turned into a national crisis and national lesson on how quickly institutional distrust can turn tragic news into viral panic. But while the rumors of organ trafficking rings and serial killers remain entirely unfounded, the pressure on South Korean authorities to reform missing person protocols and border management is very real. So we'll keep following the situation as new updates develop. But meanwhile, what are your thoughts on Jeju's visa-free policy and the government's response? Let me know in the comments and stay safe.
Okay. At the end, bad response. Hopefully things get better for, obviously, because it is a loving, very popular island vacation place. So, without said, that's the day. Not video, stream. Might not be able to do it in the distant future. So, Wednesdays, I might be able to still do it with Sophie. Again, like the video, like the stream. If you're on the rewatch, also like the stream. Subscribe if you enjoy me talking about stuff like this. And also comment comment your thoughts of things. Every video I react to was in the description, besides the Nepal one. So, alright, that said, bye.
Welcome to the Blizzard Arena.
And the quest for a champion begins today.
The anticipation has been building, and it is finally time. We are live.
Are you ready?
Can you get over the roof there? Oh my.
Oh my, what a play, what a grab!
Another jump here onto the high ground. Super goes forward, but gets stuck up. The EMP comes in, and ding, he rains down hell from above. Here comes Pine. Gets one, gets two. Looking for a bit more, gets another one.
Tuno's down again. That heralds disaster generally with a fusion, and Carpe wasn't far behind. Prophet, he's killed 4 players now on his own.
From Vancouver, locks him in the sound barrier. Sound
It's a huge
the bomb coming in from Jono. Oh my God, he does it again.
Flooded now moving onto the Widowmaker, taking the clutch into his own hands. The headshot, and the headshot, and the headshot.
We're going to try and circle around. I will call this the merry-go-round because it makes me laugh. Makes me happy, and Sean Paul switches to the Widowmaker at just the right time. Oh, the Gravy!
I'm the best tracer in the world.
Oh my word!
I mean, you could have told me that you spoke English, honestly.
The fans never thought they'd see this day. It took 43 matches. Feels like a really emotional moment here.
Sorry.
All right. See you later. Bye.